Hey, it's Glenn. And as promised, I'm going to bring y'all up to speed on what's been going on since my disappearance from the internet. Which, if you're watching this, I'm back. At least somewhat back. Right, so I don't even know how many months it's been. Like, things just kind of like, they were already bad, right? And I'm already fighting for survival all the time. But there was this one weekend when just everything collapsed underneath me, just about, like, at least as far as me doing any forward moving anything. Like, it's been really hard since I lost my author office. See earlier vlogs for that epic saga. But I haven't had really, it's been really hard to keep things charged up, for one. And Ember ate one of my charging cords. So, well, she chewed it up. She didn't eat it literally, and I feel the need to clarify because I think last week she did literally eat some wires and had to go to the ER, and she was fine. But it cost Nick $1,000 just to find out, yeah, she's just hacking like that because her throat's uncomfortable from when she swallowed the wires that will pass easily. So I don't know what all they did. I went to sleep when they went to the ER. But so yeah, like, honestly, I was thinking about it this morning. I'm probably gonna forget stuff. Like, the list of things that just ceased to function in my life is so long, and it happened all at once. And then I got super sick this same weekend. So I was staying at my friend Zach's apartment because they were all out of town, and they took the dogs this time, or the dog, Demi. So I was just by myself, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get things done. But then, like, well, okay, so it was a couple different weekends. But it really doesn't matter. I could amalgamate the story. What happened is more important than the precise timeline of events. The when and the where, not as important as the what. So, for some of this, I was at a Motel 6. For some of this, I was at Zach's apartment. So, I was gonna edit some videos, but, oh, that's right, so I couldn't get anything done at Zach's because I was so sick. And all I had was time to think, which was bad, as it turned out, because thinking clear-headedly. Ooh, okay, so I'll start with just the stuff that stopped working. Like, I was gonna shoot some I can't sleep videos, I was gonna edit videos, get them uploaded, but turns out at one of the hotels I was staying at one point somewhere, the Garland Hotel, I think, which was a piece of crap, I left somehow. That's my hypothesis about what happened, is that I left half of the cord to my camera at the hotel, which I don't know how it came apart, because it plugs in pretty tightly, and I couldn't charge it, I couldn't plug it in to film videos. And that I actually realized at Zach's apartment when I started to feel better. I was going to make a video because I was not okay. I really needed someone to talk to because of just realizations I'd had while I was sick with nothing to do. But I couldn't get on the camera and do a vlog or an I can't sleep because I couldn't get the camera to turn on, and then I couldn't get the videos that I had already made off of the camera. And then like I was gonna do, that's when I was in the hotel because I was I was recording a new episode of my podcast, Autodidactica. And, I had a guest co-host all lined up because Matt wasn't going to be able to do this one and wanted to keep it moving. But then my Zoom account, I couldn't get in. I couldn't prove that I was me. Like, it wouldn't accept my password alone. It had to send an email to my email, like, that I couldn't get into that because I couldn't prove who I was. Because it was like I was in this infinite loop of I can't prove to the computer overlords that I am who I am, and my password just isn't good enough for anything. And all this, like, because Zoom, like, the thing was, my account got canceled because, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but I don't know, a couple months back, like, it had been a while. It had been 4 months since I left the office, my author office, because they just doubled my rent without warning and doubled the deposit. Just helped themselves to basically all of my money. And so I thought this problem was good. It was solved. I'm starting to rebuild my finances, starting to set money aside again for all of the things I need to do. And then what happens? The office space helps themselves to all of my money again. When I had already communicated to them, this is over. This is not happening. I do not have the money that you're asking for. I am out. I'd been moved out for months. They hadn't tried to steal from me, and then suddenly they did. So I went to the bank, and like, I left work and went to the bank. And I'm like, okay, how can we block this payment? Because it was still pending. Like, I just saw it on there on my bank statement. I was looking to, like, I don't even remember what I was looking for, just to make sure certain payments had gone through or money was there. I don't know. But I was looking and saw what I wasn't expecting to see, which was all my money was gone. So, yeah, the bank told me, well, we can't stop the payment. Sorry. Even though it's pending. They're like, well, that doesn't really mean anything. I'm like, well, then why does it say it's pending if it's already gone through? I don't understand the purpose of telling me something is pending. But yeah, they're like, we can't stop the payment. And I'm like, well, okay, we need to make sure they can't do this again. I haven't been there for months. They can't have my money. And so they were like, well, the only way to do that is to cancel your debit card and print you out a new debit card. And yeah, sorry if the lighting is inconsistent in this video. It's hard to do with the sun and the clouds and the car. It's hard to have good consistent lighting, and I don't want just the chair to be the car back seat to be the backdrop of all my videos at the moment, because then, it all looks the same. That's why I'm wearing a different hat. But anyway, because I am in my car, just sideways. So I did that, but then I had to, like, redo the payment method on everything that I did want to go through. Caused tons of chaos. There were things I forgot about. I almost lost my car insurance. Like, it was a nightmare. And then just getting into things. But, yeah, so Zoom was one I couldn't fix, because I couldn't prove that I was me. So then it's like, well, I can't and I couldn't get into my email. So that email is just gone now. I can't access it ever again because I looked everything up on the internet trying to figure this out. I did every bit of troubleshooting and Googling, and the consensus was, well, too bad. If you can't verify your identity through this, or this, you just don't have that email anymore. It's all gone. And I'm so tired of just losing giant chunks of my history and contacts, and man, it's been a rough couple of years. Yeah, so I had to tell my friend who was guest co-hosting, we have to reschedule, and I just spent all this money on a hotel and I can't do anything. I can't do the podcast. I can't get in Zoom. I can't reply to emails. I can't shoot videos. I can't edit videos. I'm just sitting here in the hotel again, alone with my thoughts, and sober. Just not a good combination. You know, I'm worried I'm going to run out of time on this camera. The battery's only got... I've corrected a lot of these problems. I did get on Amazon, find the half of the cable I needed, which I was convinced I wouldn't be able to find because my camera's so old. But I can charge it up now. Everything is good, and it wasn't even expensive. I was thinking I'd have to get on eBay and pay out the ass to access my camera again. Because, I mean, this isn't my phone camera. This is my camcorder that I've had for years. And I like filming on this better because it's not as hard to get it off of the camera as it is on the phone. Plus, I can make bigger files. You know, now that I can access them again, it's better than the phone. But, yeah, so the thing that really just annihilated me was just having that sober realization all the times I was trapped alone with my thoughts somewhere, that there's no way out of this situation. Like, right now. Like, you know, talk about, you know, my theme for the year is be here now. And being here now, there's no way out. Like, that's not being dramatic. Like, I've done the math. I've looked at every possibility. I've looked for jobs that pay more, because if I need to triple my income in order to qualify for an apartment anywhere near where I roam, like, or, you know, anywhere in the country, basically, there aren't any jobs that pay better. I don't get paid poorly is one of the most frustrating parts of this situation. Like, I make very decent money, but I'm not rich. I'm not what would now be considered middle class. I don't have a 6-figure income, but I make decent, like averagely decent money. But that's all I can hope to make here and now in the world as it is. And it's like gonna be at least another 3 years before any politician does anything to fix it. And that's at minimum, because we don't know what's going to happen in the world right now. It's a dumpster fire. So things do not look like they're going to be getting better. So I was very, very, very unhappy because I could do nothing to get out of this. Like, I can't afford a new car. I can't afford to fix the car I have. I can't afford, like, even when you find cheap stuff like, camper van, like, people will be like, oh, you need to get this, you need to get that. Well, I don't have $100,000 lying around. Everything is obscenely expensive, even like used. It's obscenely expensive, but you know, I've since been looking outside the box, but it's like I am incapable of giving up. So, you know, in the spirit of being here now, what can I do? Accepting that with what is available to me in the present moment, I am stuck. I will either maintain or decline. Like, that's pretty much it, unless something changes. And given enough time, new opportunities will present themselves. The opportunities that do not exist today may exist tomorrow. I just have to get there. You know, I just have to get to tomorrow and be open to whatever opportunities present themselves when they present themselves. And so one weekend, you know, I was just sitting at the lake, like right now, and I got my Surface. Like, I found a way to charge. I found my Surface in storage, my little Microsoft laptop, and Nick had a tiny little charger that did the job, so I'm able to use that for a few hours here and there, in addition to the keyboard for my cell phone that I've been writing with. But I made a new Word file and just started, you know, where do I want to be? Like, where do I want to be versus where I am? And then look at where I am and what can I do? So, like, I'm going to flesh it out. Like, I did general things, like, that I can do right now, you know, as long as I don't have all my money stolen again by any rich people. But it's just one foot in front of the other stuff. And don't think about there's no way out. Because all the stuff I can do is going to potentially lead to new opportunities down the road. You know, like, my goal is to eventually be a homeowner again. On my terms. And, you know, it's like I found a lot of opportunities by accident that I can't afford to take. And I'm like, well, if I start saving up now and don't get robbed, one day I'll be able to do it. You know, like, there's something, I could get 20 acres of land for $40,000. And then I could take all my stuff out of public storage and put it there. You know, and there's a place like 8 hours away from here, closer to Mexico, that already has like a building on it that's a little under $40,000. And I'm like, well, if only I could get a loan that didn't have insane interest because of my credit, you know. And it's not like, that's not something, I couldn't tell if it was still recording. That's not something I could like ask someone to do for me. Hey, could you take out a loan because I can make the payments? Like, you just can't do that, you know. Same with like a camper. Like, if someone else took out the loan, I could make the payments. But, you know, that's just not an option, at least ethically for me. Like, I can't be that guy who asks for that much money from someone. I just need $40,000 and I can get out of this hole. Because if I got rid of public storage, like took all my shit down there, locked it up in that building, then that saves me a huge chunk of money every month that I can start saving up. I can pay off the loan faster. You know, I could get it paid off in 4 years. Conceivably. Like, I did the math and figured that out. The only problem is I don't have the capital to start with. So, you know, being here now where I don't have 40 grand, let's not obsess about, but what if I did? Let's look at what can I do here and now to, at some point, have 40 grand and have better credit. Like, if I can get good enough credit to take out a loan, like, it'll take me 4 to 8 years to save up the money, just like it would have taken me 4 to 8 years, you know, depending on different variables. The fastest I could do is 4 years. The longest it would take me is 8. And I'm like, all right, I'll work on fixing my credit. Like, I'm going to do something every month to work on getting my credit rate just way up by the end of the year so that I won't have giant interest rates attached to any loan I take out. You know, and if it happens faster, cool. Like, any opportunity that changes the situation along the way, I will take it and speed up my time. Because, you know, dealing with what I have here and now to work with, it's not a 5-year plan, it's a 35-year plan to get out of this mess. Because if nothing changes, it will take me 35 years to work my way out of this hole. But you know, a lot could happen, so I need to still work on a marketing campaign for my new novel, The Thing in the Attic, and Anderson Brothers Paranormal Investigation. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it anywhere. You know, not with a giant publisher, so it's probably not going to be on a bookshelf somewhere unless someone there just deliberately wanted my book there. But you can take the ISBN, the title, author, you can order it through any bookstore. But, you know, if that book takes off, that's, you know, gonna shave down that 35-year timeline. Like, anything that happens good and unexpected that I allow to present itself to me as a possibility because I actually made it to the next day, day after day after day, I made it to where these opportunities exist, is going to shrink my 35-year plan down to something that feels a lot less hopeless. I'm also going to go back to school this fall, one damn way or another. Something always prevents me from getting back in school. There's always some calamity, but I'm going to do it. You know, just Richland College, it's a junior college, a community college, where I have most of my college credits accrued. So I have one semester and I'll finish my associate's degree. And perhaps that in itself will open up some opportunities, you know? Like, and that's where I want to be. Like, I want to work in academics. I want to work in a college. I don't want to work in a warehouse. Like, I'm grateful to work in a warehouse at the moment. You know, it's a life vest while I'm adrift at sea, pretty much. But it's not where I want to stay. But yeah, getting back into college, networking, getting, you know, racking up those degrees. Like, that's one of my plans. Like, I'm going to finish my associate's degree, and then, you know, if nothing else has changed, then, you know, regarding the economy, then I'm going to beef up my GPA, retake some classes where, you know, turn some C's into A's kind of stuff. And then I'm going to apply to go to 4-year colleges in other countries. Like, Germany will let Americans go to college for free. So in a couple years, year and a half maybe, I'm going to do that, and that's going to open up new opportunities. But again, if circumstances change here, I'm not trying to flee my homeland just yet. Again, given the dumpster fire, the Trumpster fire, if you will, who knows? I may need to flee my country. But we'll see. But again, we're dealing with here and now. Here and now, I don't need to cut and run just yet. And it's not running away from something if nothing changes and I get to that point where I've got my associate's degree, my GPA is good enough. That's running towards something. That's running to Germany where there are opportunities to not go into crippling debt just to get your 4-year degree. And I'm going to keep going. I intend to get a PhD. I'm not going to take any more semesters off until I've got a PhD. And that will open doors. So, and meanwhile, I'll be saving money to buy property of some sort, Like if I were able to buy that 20 acres of land. And there are a lot of deals like that. There's a lot of land out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, that is, given the size of it, I think it's fairly cheap. I can't afford it, but 20 acres is a lot of land. Like, to me, it's almost unfathomable. But it's something to work towards, and it's something I always wanted to do anyway. Like, I wanted to have a house, and I wanted to have land out in the middle of nowhere that I could build a little something on and call it Happy Ranch, and just go there, have my fortress of solitude when I need it, a place to go right, just away from everything, out where you can see the stars. So I'm doing it. I'm doing it one day at a time. And if it takes me 35 years, I'll have it in 35 years. I'll be right where I want to be. But chances are, opportunities that do not exist today will exist tomorrow. And it's not going to take 35 years. And the more goals I achieve, the more doors may open for me. But it's not like I did something wrong to get here. Because I was also thinking about like all the people in my circle, my friend circle, my social circle who like aren't in this situation, despite most of them making less money than I do. And I've got 2 friends who are married with a kid, but they live in her mother's house. They pay a little, but it's not anything like what most people have to pay for rent these days. That's how they can afford to not be homeless. Another friend inherited a house that's paid off. Another friend years ago, decades ago perhaps, inherited his parents' house, was able to sell it. Like he had that equity to like put into his own house. So he's got his, he's good. Other friends live in a paid off duplex that was paid off long before the economy went to hell. Like, it's mostly people who just drew good cards. Oh, but my battery's about to die. Anyway, I'm moving boldly forward in anticipation of the opportunities to come. And, I might have rambled on a bit, but that's going to have to be it for now because I'm racing the battery at this point. So right now, still working on getting my website up, but if it's up, glensleeclarkjr.com, author stuff, writing, videos, everything. If you are so kind and so inclined, please do leave a like, subscribe, whatever, some kind of an interaction so the algorithm will love me again. And yeah, that's it for now, and I will talk to y'all next time.